Alrighty, welcome back to iFish News Fishing Podcasts. I'm Glenn, City Island Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team, where we learn to fish by our trials and errors. In this round, we have to talking about kayak fishing and fly fishing, combining the two so that you can enjoy some fish on the fly while you're out there getting some exercise as well with some kayaking. So this round, there's some like 5 key tips that we picked up this last round. Some from previous trips, we learned that there's some things that you should do, and then from this last trip over there at Lake Lavon last Sunday, took away several things. So let's go right into it. First item, number 1. Let's go with number 1. The OPST Commando Head with the coated mono running line. That was a key factor in our success this round, because in past trips we went with the traditional fly line, and from that sitting position, can't really stand in the little kayak that we use, that Heritage kayak, 9 foot or so. Lightweight, but can't stand on it. And so we find that from a sitting position using traditional fly line, we're able to get our cast out there, but we have to do multiple false casting. And so with that OPST Commando Head, with the coated mono running line, we're able to get the fly where we needed to fairly easily without a lot of false casting. So that is our number 1 tip when it comes to fly fishing from a kayak. That said, there are other Commando Heads that are out there that don't require the mono running line separate. I think there's a new one that's out there that's combined with the shooting head, so do take a look at that one. All right, next item, number 2, minimize your cockpit area. So have your life jacket on, make sure you have your tackle and whatnot, your fly box in your jacket itself. That helps in keeping things from getting tangled, because you'll have that line everywhere sooner or later as you're casting, as well as retrieving your line as you're working that fly in the zone where the fish may be. And then also use your loops. In this case, we had some loops in our life jacket where we could put the nippers as well as the forceps below our waistline underneath the jacket, but we can grab it fairly quickly. And so that kept things at a minimum, getting fouled while we were casting away. Number 3, the line management. Again, line management is going to be key. Some things that we picked up. Normally when we're fly casting or fly fishing, we'll bring in the line without reeling in the line. We'll just kind of fight it on the line itself. So we held off on reeling in the excess line and would just let it play out. So we did 2 things this last round. When we're fishing to our left side, because we're right-handed, we put the extra line in the water, let it float behind us. That kept things good. And then later on, we started bringing in the line, because as we noticed when we had some of the larger white bass, the magnums as they call it, those tended to kind of run this way and that, and a couple of times we had them run where our line was drifting back, that excess line that we had reeled in, or via hand versus on the reel. So we tended to start fighting the fish on the fly by reeling in our excess line and then fighting it on the reel itself. So normally we don't do that, but in the kayak we found it was helpful. Let's see, next one, the Railblaza Rod Holder. That's the one that you'll see in the kayak that we have up front, where we'll hook on the fly rod. And the big takeaway there is you want a rod holder, be it a Railblaza or not, but it has that locking mechanism, because you have that really there's no butt end of the fly rod, so you're able to put it in the Railblaza holder, flip over the locking mechanism, and that'll keep it from falling out. And so we find that was one that we've learned in past occasions, but specifically when we're working a fly rod, we found that was a good one to take away if you're going to be doing some fly fishing from a kayak. And then lastly, you can do some double duty with that Railblaza trolling. So as you're going to and from the location that you're going to be fishing, do take advantage of trolling that fly line, or that fly, by mounting it on that Railblaza holder, lock it in place, and let it drift behind you. So that is the lessons or tips this round. We'll get this posted on our iFish News podcast. Also do a video version on our YouTube channel, COAF Field Team, City of Island Fishing Field Team. And I think we're going to see if we can add a little more to that video to give you a little demo of casting with a traditional line as we're sitting versus casting with a OPST or shooting head one-handed spay line as you're sitting as well. Hopefully you can see the difference between casting traditional versus with that shooting head. All right, all for now. Next time we'll catch y'all later, and good luck and good fishing.